hello to our students and subscribers of this video lecture series on health education. And on this presentation or discussion, we are going to have the topic types of learning and the different learning styles. And based on our reference of Besaville and De Young, learning is defined in this presentation as a relatively permanent change in the mental processing, emotional functioning, and behavior, as a result of experience and vicarious experiences. And learning is lifelong, it is evolving, it is dynamic, and it is in which individuals and even families, for this matter, acquire new knowledge and skills. And these learnings also change or influences or alters their thoughts, their attitudes, their lifestyles in the bigger picture, their health practices. And despite the significance of learning to human development, as we have said earlier in the previous video lectures, learning has been debated for so long. Okay, what are the different factors that affects learning? What are the different types of learnings? What are the experience that facilitates or hinders the different learning processes? And we we review we have reviewed the different learning theories, and in this presentation, regardless of the theories, we're going to discuss the types of learning and learning styles. Though majority of this presentation will be is influenced by the cognitive theory, especially the theories of Gagne, which focuses on intellectual skills here in this presentation. Still, it is affected by the cognitive theory. So first, okay, we have the differences of learnings between the Andragogy and Pedagogy by Malcolm Knowles. Okay, so when you say Andragogy, it's a teaching of adults. Consequently, it's the learning of adults, and pedagogy is a teaching of children. Okay, so to make it simple, we have a matrix here, a table showing the difference. So we are going to focus on the areas of what adults and children as audience, as learners, need to know. What are the self-concept? What are the roles of experience in learning? The level of readiness, or what is the influence of readiness to learning, orientation to learning, and what is their respective what are their respective motivation. So first, adults need to know, like it's awareness, their awareness if what are the things that they need to know, okay, based on learnings. For children, they learn what the teacher wants them to learn. Okay, so there's no self determination. There's no self responsibility on things you need to know. Okay, it's like an elementary student or pupil that all are fed by a teacher, and these are the rudiments of learning. These are the basic ones, and this is considered to be the need to know of every individual. And on the other hand, the adults need to know why they need to learn something. Okay, so they must know. Actually, not only need, it's also must. Okay, it's also a must that a teacher or an educator should explain. Okay, should present, okay, a picture, a clear picture why adults need to learn this one. Okay, so they need to know first why, or what's the reason they need to learn something. Okay, for example, why do I need to learn about this disease or this program? Okay, this concept that you're trying to teach me. Both areas, whether you are well or you're a sick adult, okay, Um, First is you must assess, okay, or you must explain why the adults need to know these things. Okay, then next is self-concept. For the younger children, perception of being dependent on the teacher for learning. So, on the other hand, or on simpler terms, learning is dependent on teachers. Okay, for adults, they learn from each other's experiences. Okay, so that is very important also. Um, oh, for experiences, and these experiences will bring self-responsibility for their own learning. Okay, so they feel responsible for their own learning. That's the self-concept of the adults in terms of learning. Again, for children, their learning depends on the teacher, what he or she says. Okay, basically, that's what to be learned. Okay, for adults, uh, they have their own feeling, they have their own thinking, they have their own responsibility for their own learning. The role of experience, third one, the teacher's experience, okay, not the children's, is what counts, especially during the olden times, especially during our younger years, elementary years, or pre-elementary years. Okay, so we can be considered that we don't have that much experience yet. That's why the teacher, the educator, um, experiences counts. Okay, and for the adults, they learn, okay, from each other's experiences, whether it can be formal or informal type of learning. Just merely conversing, okay, can share experiences and also can share learnings. And readiness to learn, okay, this is in relation to the law of readiness. Okay, for the pedagogy, or for the children, they must be ready when the teacher says they must, or they will not be promoted to the next level. Okay, though at times in this concept, the law of readiness does not apply or is not followed, because the law of readiness would say you learn when you're ready. Okay, but on this concept, okay, you must be ready whenever the teacher says you must. Okay, for the adults, ready to learn when they feel the need to know. Okay, so that's why the explanation of things, the reason of things, okay, are very important for the adults, because the knowing influences the readiness to learn. Orientation to learning, usually for the children, subject-centered orientation, topic-centered orientation, okay, like science, math subjects, okay, English subjects, okay, even higher in the high school level. This is the orientation to learning. But for adults, it's far more different. Okay, for the adults, it is life-centered and it is task-centered. But going back to our high school students, even late elementary, the trend now is the learnings should be lifelong learnings. Okay, lifelong learnings, which will really prepare our students, our learners in the bigger society. Okay, when they become, let's say, they graduate already, or still while in school, while studying, they should have developed already some at certain level. Okay, lifelong learnings. Then motivation. Um, um, Children are usually externally motivated by the teacher's reward, parents' reward, teacher's punishment, parents' punishment. Okay, so that's their motivation. For adults, primarily internally motivated, the feeling, the thoughts after they have learned the need to know of this concept. They are internally motivated with some external motivation, usually brought by families, by loved ones, the caretakers, the healthcare professionals who have influence on them. Okay, so that's the difference on the concept of learning according to Knowles. Okay, the learning difference between the children or pedagogy versus andragogy. In summary, adults are motivated to learn information for which they understand the purpose and see practical applications. Okay, experience is very good. The past experience and the present experience wherein these learnings can be applied. Then second, adults want to take some control of their learning and be self-directed. Okay, so meaning minimal supervision. Okay, up to the point that they don't want to be supervised. Okay, so especially there are some learners that they have really high confidence on themselves. Okay, of course, as a healthcare provider, you're still there observing them on how they do things. Okay, until really such time you can say that they do not need or they need no to less supervision. Okay. Then third, adults want their life experiences to be considered in the learning situation and also want to learn from others' experiences. That's why it's very important. For example, if you're conducting health education sessions, um, one of the warm-up activities there is asking them of their own experience leading to the topic, okay, of your session. Okay. Then, according to Robert Gagne, okay, uh, these are the cognitive processes that activate effective learning. He posted nine cognitive processes. Okay, so we have here reception, okay, expectancy, retrieval, selective perception, semantic encoding, responding, reinforcement, another retrieval, and generalization. Okay, so when you say reception, it's also known as gaining um, it's gaining attention. Okay, how to gain the attention of your learner. One way here is presenting a good problem or a new situation in a stimulating and engaging manner. Okay, and we also have second, the expectancy. Okay, for expectancy,